Hello friends. I'm Dr. Roopam Gupta back with a new video on management for doctors, whereby I try to share my knowledge about management with my doctor friends in a bid to increase their management consciousness. The topic for today is management by objectives. So what's common in all these companies? Successful indeed. They have all practiced management by objectives. So we have a few good learning objectives stocked up for you today. Okay, have you ever noted, friends, that in this word revision, it is actually revision, having a new look at certain terms. But first, we have vision. Vision, of course, is where your organization ultimately wants to be in the future. Then we have another word, mission. Mission is what your organization does in order to reach the vision and why the organization actually exists, the purpose of the organization. Then you have a term called the goal. Goal is the high level milestones that must be achieved to reach the vision. Then the term strategy. Strategy are the plan of actions designed to achieve a long-term goal. And then we have objective. Objectives are the more specific milestones to reach the goals. And then the tactics. The tactics are the activities people in the organization must do actually on a day-to-day basis to meet their objectives. Now, relating all these terms, the tactics actually implement the strategy, and the strategies are nothing but components of the mission. The mission, strategy and the tactics together forms the means, and the ends are the vision, goal and objectives. Of course, the objectives quantify the goal and the goal amplifies the vision. So to start with, friends, have you ever gone for a railway e-ticket booking online and then did you ever leave the destination column blank? Well, of course, it would never accept your booking, but if it did, you'd certainly be lost. So friends, whatever you do, wherever you go, you have to have an objective. An objective is always there. Objective is that specific thing which you are trying to achieve. In business, we have got many types of objectives. You've got the economic objectives, social, national, global, and even human objectives. So you always knowingly or unknowingly manage with an objective, and when you do it knowingly, it is management by objectives. Let's have a little peep into the history of MBO. Well, it was Peter Drucker, the founder of modern management and father of the MBO technique. He was the one who coined the word MBO in his famous book, The Practice of Management in 1954. Then we had Douglas MacGregor, famous for his theory X and Y. He advocated MBO as a system of management and emphasized how it could be used by superiors to more objectively appraise their subordinates. George Odiorne, the student of Drucker, he defined MBO in his famous book Management Decisions by Objectives in 1960. By 1974, more than half of the Fortune 500 organizations were using MBO, and by the mid-1990s, the adoption was nearly 100%. A very simple definition of MBO. It is a management style that aims to improve the performance of an organization by clearly defining objectives that are agreed upon to by both the management and the employees. To schematically represent this definition, management by objectives is a planning and coordinating system where superiors and subordinates together jointly plan. They set objectives, they set standards, and they choose actions. and then they individually act. The subordinate performs the task and the supervisors provides the support. And then they jointly control. They review the result, discuss the implementation and decide to modify. The feedback is the most important part, both on the supervisor's end and the subordinate's end. So MBO is said to have 4 ingredients or elements. They are the objectives, the participation, the time period, and the feedback. Peter Drucker presented his 5-step MBO process, setting organizational objectives, cascading objectives to employees, monitoring, evaluating performance, and rewarding performance. But he himself said, management by objectives works if you first think through your objectives. 90% of the time, you do not. Therefore, friends, to put this convoluted line straight, let me present an elaborated but simple steps of MBO. First, the top management has already decided the vision, mission, and overall goals. Then, the middle management determines the broad objectives, the key result areas, the divisional and departmental objectives, and of course, they are aligned with the organizational mission and vision. The middle level then shares it completely, clearly, and transparently with the first level managers. And the first level managers and subordinate employees, through teamwork, modify the objectives and make them smart. We shall discuss this smart after some time. Next, each one concerned, the top, middle, first level management and employees, know the finalized objectives very clearly. The first level managers and employees, they collectively identify the 3 T's, the tactics or the activities for achieving these objectives, the time frame for completion of these activities, and the tracking options, which we call the KPIs or the key performance indicators. Next, the employees implement the process to achieve the objective, and the first level managers monitor the progress. At the end of the agreed period, usually an year, all together the employees, the first, the middle level management, review and evaluate the objectives achievement. Then appraisal is performed. Achievements is rewarded. Of course, there is no punishments. Then the process is modified if needed, and the objective too is modified if needed, only if modifying the process alone does not work. Of SMART objectives. Now, this was first described by Paul J. Mayer in his famous book, Attitude is Everything. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic or relevant and time-bound. Well, we answer some simple questions. Specific, what exactly needs to be accomplished? Why do we want to accomplish this goal? Measurable, how will we know that we have succeeded? How much change needs to occur and how many actions or cycles it will take to achieve this aim? Attainable, do we have the resources to achieve the goal? Is the goal a reasonable stretch? Is the goal likely to bring success? Relevance, is this a worthwhile goal? Will it be meaningful to the management or the team? Can we commit to achieving this goal? Time bound, what is the deadline for achieving this goal? When will be able to begin to take action? You can plan a small checklist to see if your objectives are SMART. A few examples to illustrate the objectives dumb versus smart. For example, to make a reasonable profit is the statement, but the smarter version of this objective is to achieve a return on investment of 12% at the end of the current fiscal year. The dumb version, to improve productivity. The smart version, to increase the production output by 5% by December 2021 without additional costs while maintaining the current quality level. The dumb version, to develop better managers. Smart option, to design and conduct a 40-hour in-house program on the fundamentals of management to be completed by October 1st, 2021, involving not more than 200 working hours of the management development staff and with at least 90% of the 100 managers passing in the exams. A dumb version, to install a computer system. The smart version, to install a computerized control system in the production department by December 2021, requiring not more than 500 working hours of system analysis and operating with not more than 10% downtime during the first 3 months. Another important term, KRA, the key result area. KRA are essential priority areas of business that requires excellent performance to obtain the favorable result, to accomplish the mission, survive and grow in the industry. KRAs are qualitative in nature. In a hospital setup, the KRAs, for example, can be patient satisfaction, biomedical equipment management, operational cost control, quality check, medical record keeping. The other term used is KPI or Key Performance Indicators. KPIs are the performance metric used by the organization to ascertain how effectively the firm is performing. KPI, of course, is a quantifiable measure. Again, the example of a hospital setup. KPIs are average length of stay, the bed occupancy rates, the average treatment costs across all ages, etc. Now, talking about the structure of the goal or objective. The goal or objective is nothing but KRA plus KPI, where in any objective you have the beginning where you use the active verb. Then you have the middle part, which is nothing but the KRA, which states what is to be achieved, and the objective ends with a KPI, where it is an end with a measure. For example, a quantity or a quality or a time. Here are a few examples. To reduce manufacturing cost by 7.5% over previous years, and so on and so forth. Please note that never use the verbs like support, try, assist, coordinate, manage, etc. Okay. What are the advantages of this management by objective? Of course, to the organization, there is a higher degree of commitment of the employees. There is superior management. There is better control. There is relevant planning and there is clarity in the roles. To the management itself, you get a motivated workforce. There is excellent leadership. There is a system for performance evaluation. It's an opportunity for team building, and it establishes cordial management-employee relation. For the employees, there is job satisfaction. It boosts the morale and confidence. It brings down innovative abilities, and it's a successful goal attainment tool. It triggers self-discipline. Of course, there are disadvantages too, and quite a few. It is time consuming. It is a pressure-oriented program. It increases paperwork. Howell had famously commented, MBO's effectiveness is inversely related to the number of MBO forms. It creates often a tug-of-war situation between subordinates trying to set the lowest possible targets and the superiors trying for the highest. It sometimes develops conflicting objectives. There is problems in coordination and lack of durability. Fatigue and routineness sets in. Then there is problems related to goal setting also. Problems arise when their verifiable goals are often difficult to set. Goals are inflexible and rigid sometimes. Goals tend to take precedence over the people who use it. There is greater emphasis on quantifiable and easily measurable results instead of important results. And there is often overemphasis on the short-term goals at the cost of the long-term goals. So when do we use MBO? This is most suitable for knowledge-based enterprises where the staff is quite competent of what they do. Especially if the management is planning to implement a self-leadership culture among the employees. MBO is the best possible way to initiate this process. MBO has been in action at Intel. The former CEO of Intel, Andy Grove, he has famously said, the one thing an MBO system should provide is focus. So, have your objectives precise and keep their numbers small. Most people disobey this rule and try to focus on everything and end up with no focus at all. Top management commitment is necessary. This was found in a study titled Impact of Management by Objectives on Organizational Productivity by Rogers and Hunter. 68 out of the 70 studies showed productivity gains and only 2 studies showed losses where the organizations were using MBO. One factor was predicted to be the essential item for success, the level of top management commitment to MBO. The results of this meta-analysis showed that when the top management commitment was high, the average gain in productivity was 56%. And when the commitment was low, the average gain in productivity was a mere 6%. So we summarize. The 4 ingredients of MBO are objectives, participation, the time period, and feedback. For an objective, it has to be SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, relevant, and time bound. And the schematic summary for MBO is jointly plan, set objectives, set standards, choose action. Individually act, subordinates perform the task, supervisors provide the support, and jointly control, review the result and discuss implementation. You may even decide to modify both the supervisors and the subordinates. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. The links to my earlier videos are there in the description below. Thank you so much.